I am Dr. Alyssa Adams. I'm the Director of Executive Coaching with TPI, and I am joined by one of our wonderful executive coaches, Treva Hall. So Treva, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Alyssa, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into this topic today, which is choosing your words, coaching leaders to speak with intention. So, Treva, tell us a little bit about why you believe it matters to really be thoughtful about the words that you choose to speak to yourself and speak to others.
Okay, well, first I'll start by saying, as I believe that our words are the most important tool that we have as leaders. We're listening to those words, teams listening to the words, organizations listening to the words, and that we speak. And the language that we use, it becomes the culture that we create. And though our words are so powerful, I feel as though they set the tone for your team or organization. And we have, it's a very simple, we have power. We have a lot of control over that. So it's a simple fix once we're aware of it. So yeah, that's why I believe it's a lot of power there.
Yeah, well said, Treva. Let's dig into this a little bit more. So it may sound kind of vague in a way to think about choosing our words. Like, well, what are the words to choose? What are the words to not choose? But talk me through a little bit around how you help leaders just bring awareness to the words that they are using, and then how to really determine, what is the impact that they're having on the people that they work with.
Well, the impact is on the people they work with and also themselves. And I'm really big on words. What I usually do is I'll have whatever client I'm working with, as they're speaking and I'm hearing the same language that they could use a better word, let's say. I think our team can do well. What sounds better? I believe our team can do well. We can do well. If I hear a pattern, I'll bring it up to them and discuss what it's, they are the ones listening to these words. So I'll ask them to replace the word, get rid of the word if it's not needed, and it becomes more of a powerful, stronger word. As far as the impact it has on your team, the way we lead is how our team follows, right? So our words can, it can create a lot of impact. Our words have a lot of power of driving our team to do well or not. It builds trust and connection. So yeah, I hope that was a good answer for you.
Yeah.
I was kind of all over the place, but go ahead.
No, I think it's fine. I mean, I think what's helpful is to start to notice the words that you're saying in different circumstances. So when I get nervous, or there's a high stakes conversation, or there's an employee that maybe I have a little bit of friction with, what are my word choices? What are the things that I'm saying? Or when I'm trying to motivate my team, I'm trying to get my team all on the same page, right? What are the words that I'm choosing? Does it sound wishy-washy? Does it sound like, or does it sound really clear and concise and like we're moving in the same direction, and it's easier to raise your hand and say, yes, I'm on board. I'm ready to move with you.
Yes.
So are there any words that you might say to someone, hey, let's steer away from these, or look more at these? Like, is there anything that you see come up often with your clients?
Think. The word think. We can remove that if it's not needed or necessary. Clear communication. I talk to them about that. Less words, more impact. Keep it clear. When we communicate clearly to our team, clients, leaders, whatever, that when we can create clear communication, it builds confidence in your team. They know the direction they're supposed to go. There's no questions asked. It builds trust. They're able to talk to you with transparency. So I think and then just really clear communication, less words. It's not necessarily the words. Sometimes there's too many words. So to get rid of some of those words is very important. It's an important skill to learn. And it's also, when you said words, fixed mindset versus growth mindset, right? The letting go of something like you can't fail in that. You cannot fail. We don't fail here, right? Versus that's not very empowering. Versus what did we learn, from this? How can we move forward? That's more empowering versus a very fixed mindset. Shifting to growth is important.
Yeah, and I think what you bring up is really important. Like, how do we communicate our mindset in words, right? How are we helping people on our team maybe broaden their own mindset or awareness around how do I grow in this difficult situation versus, coming into it maybe in kind of a like a locked box kind of situation. Right. And one of the ones that I've heard people say a lot is sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like immediately kind of takes away from the impact and the emphasis of what you're trying to say. So notice these things in your speech. As you were speaking, Treva, I was reflecting on the fact that I'm somebody, and maybe people out there can relate to this, or somebody on your team is like this, but I pick up people's speech styles really easily.
Yes.
So I might start to say sort of, or I think, if I'm communicating a lot with someone who says that. So then all of a sudden your speech pattern, for, good or bad, right? It flows into how your team starts to think about and talk about things. So there's really a broader impact than you may even realize.
Absolutely. And being aware of that is really important. So we don't have to follow either. We don't have to follow that language, but being really aware of it and intentional. That's another thing, is setting an intention. Say you're going to have a hard conversation. How do you want to show up in that conversation? So setting an intention, a word of how you want to feel, or how you want to approach that hard conversation. Maybe it's empathy or trust, connection. Yes. I want to understand. So set that a word, the intention, before you go in. It's very helpful.
That's a great suggestion, and something really easy to start, right? You can do it today. There's time left in the day. If you have meetings for the rest of the day, right, you can put it on a Post-it in front of you, or even just mentally rehearse it to decide, I want to show up in this way. This is the word that I want to really embody this meeting, or how I show up to this meeting. And really it can set the tone for the whole interaction, right? If I'm going to choose words that help me relate or connect to a person, and I'm going to also really hold in my mind, okay, I want to be empathic when I meet with this person. It can change and shift the entire tone of the conversation, because without doing that on purpose or with thought behind it, you might just come in how you usually come in, which might be rushed or busy, right? Everybody's like, their pace is so fast. And then you end up with a result that you may not be your ideal.
Absolutely. Again, it takes practice. Setting that intention, pausing. We talk a lot in coaching about the power of pause, and pausing before you go into that, meeting is really important to come up with your intention. And really do a self-check. If you're going into a really hard meeting, check yourself. Where are you at? Should you be having that meeting right now? Because maybe you're a little angry, or you're not sure how you're going to show up. So pausing, setting the intention with the right word can change that. Also doing the self check of where you're at. It's really awareness. There's so much power in pausing, because it's the difference between a response and a reaction. That's very important. So pause, and more pause. Truly, that's it's key. And the words that we use, and the words that we're telling ourselves before we go into the hard conversation, maybe about what the conversation's going to be or how you're feeling about this individual. You know, neutral and curious are two of my favorite words.
Yeah.
It takes judgment out of everything. I'm going to go in neutral and I'm going to be very curious. It's very helpful. So words are important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the idea of just paying attention to your inner words, right? What do you say to yourself? How do you talk to
Yes.
yourself?
Yes.
Treva, are there any, thank you so much for all of your wonderful information that you've shared on this. And are there any last thoughts that you want to share with the group on about choosing their words or how to do that more thoughtfully?
Yes, actually, I would like to encourage all leaders, whether you're a leader in the home, leader, because we lead in all areas, right? How we show up in one area is usually how we're showing up in another area, professionally, personally. Really take some time, the pause, and what kind of leader do you want to be? Come up with 3 words that you want people to know about you as a leader. When they see you, are you approachable? Do you have empathy? Can they trust you? Come up with 3 words that matter to you, and then set an intention to have those words every time you're go through your day or wherever it is. And also ask your team, how am I showing up for you?
Yeah,
So
that's a great question.
yeah.
Thank you, Treva. This has been so lovely to spend time with you and to learn from you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And
Thank
if you're
you.
wanting to learn more about coaching or the other services that we offer at TPI, please